If there ever was such a thing as a company that could do almost anything, well, Tenneke Properties is it. These guys know how to completely transform your existing home into something new, or just do it room by room. That's Tenneke Properties. Visit Tenneke.com or phone 931-244-4602.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your evening update.
It's been a mix of sun and clouds and seasonably warm temperatures on this Monday across the Tennessee Valley, with deeper Gulf moisture moving northward, allowing also for some scattered thunder showers across the area. But if you didn't get rain today, rain chances start to back off for a large part of the rest of the week. So maybe dry out there and you may have to water those lawns a little bit, but rain chances are completely zero in the 7-day forecast. We'll talk about everything going forward here. Got up to 90 degrees this afternoon at the Lawrenceburg Airport, right around where it should be. Normal high is 89, morning low of 72, as pretty close to normal as well. That's usually around 68 degrees, so we're right around where we should be for this time of year, but temperatures will trend warmer once again as we head through the rest of the weekend, especially the weekend, just like they were this past weekend. I do think we have mid to upper 90s coming again. A touch of rainfall at the Lawrenceburg Airport this afternoon, 0.03 of an inch, and not a whole lot expected here for the next few days. Here's the Futurecast breakdown. Futurecast overdoing the rain coverage just a little bit, but the general idea of northwestward moving showers and thunderstorms dissipating as we go through the evening, that's correct. Partly to mostly cloudy overnight. It shows a stray chance of a shower. Can't completely rule that out, but I think that's a minimal chance toward daybreak. Partly sunny otherwise as we head into Tuesday, and warm. Daytime highs near 90 once again by the afternoon. There may be a stray thunder shower in parts of the viewing area by Tuesday afternoon, but I think it would be in our western and northwestern counties if it occurs, probably off to the west of the Natchez Trace Parkway. Most of us are likely to be dry for our Tuesday, and that's going to continue on through a large part of the week here, falling back into the 80s tomorrow evening and then the 70s overnight tomorrow night. We'll start in the lower 70s tomorrow morning as well, with a mix of sun and clouds going through our Tuesday and our Wednesday. We are going to have a bit more cloud cover the next few days, because even though we're not going to see big rain chances, we still have that tropical low-level air mass in place. It's just that we're taking focusing mechanisms off to the west of us. We're getting to Friday, maybe the slightest chance of a thunder shower or two as we start to warm things up when we get things unstable here, but no big rain chances on the board. I think it's next week before the rain chances start to increase in a significant manner, and we have a little bit to go before we work out the details of that forecast. Lower 90s here the next couple days, Tuesday and Wednesday especially, starting to creep up as we head late in the week and especially the weekend. And I think we're going to have to trend further upward with these numbers, closer to the upper 90s over the weekend, and dew points are going to be in the 70s, and that means we're likely to once again see heat index values near or into the lower triple digits. We have a couple areas in the tropics we're watching. No big intense systems by any means, but we do have a couple systems we're watching. This disorganized low pressure out here in the western Atlantic. We'll talk about this one in just a moment. The one that's had most of our attention past couple of days is this low pressure developing in the Bay of Campeche, southwestern Gulf. We've been talking about this since last week. It is organizing thunderstorms here. There hasn't been a tight low-level low pressure yet. Once that develops, we're going to have Tropical Storm Alberto on the board, and that may happen here within the next 36 hours if some of the computer modeling is right. As of right now, not an officially developed system, but it's close enough to land that National Hurricane Center has started to have to issue advisories on it so that they can do watches and warnings, because it's within 48 hours from impacting the coastline of Mexico and southern areas of Texas. So that's why we have what they call potential tropical cyclone number 1. To make that easier to understand, we just call that a developing tropical system. That's what they do when a system is close enough to land that they have to issue watches and warnings, but it hasn't officially become a tropical depression or tropical storm yet. That's how that all works out. Track goes northward until Wednesday, then high pressure builds into the north, turns things westward. So this will be making landfall, it looks like, in the northern Mexican coastline area as a lower end of tropical storm. So I do think we probably get Tropical Storm Alberto out of this And since maximum sustained winds are already to 40 miles per hour as of the time of this advisory, we won't see a designation of tropical depression, number one. This will go straight to Tropical Storm Alberto once it closes off that low-level circulation. Now, impacts along the Gulf Coast. There will be some heavy rain and potential flooding along the Texas coast just from that onshore flow of the deep tropical moisture. Some rip currents still continue to be possible along the northern Gulf Coast, but outside of that, this is not otherwise a threat to the northern Gulf Coast and no direct impact to the Tennessee Valley. Our second system out here in the western Atlantic will have to fight a lot of dry air and strong wind shear as it tries to squeeze westward over the next few days. But there's a low probability there could be a tropical depression or maybe a low-end subtropical or tropical storm developing out of it as it heads westward toward either the Georgia coastline, South Carolina coastline, or maybe northeastern Florida. Not expecting big development here if it can develop at all. That all remains to be seen. Your forecast back locally here, partly cloudy to mostly cloudy overnight, dropping out of the 90s and 80s into the 70s. And then overnight lows don't drop out of the lower 70s around daybreak. Maybe a stray thunder shower west of the Natchez Trace Parkway in our viewing area during Tuesday afternoon. Otherwise, we're dry. That dry weather continues on through Wednesday and Thursday. Daytime highs in the lower half of the 90s. Start to warm up a bit Friday and especially the weekend. Isolated thunder shower or two Friday. Better chance of rain starts to come back as we hit late Sunday and then especially on into early next week. There's your latest 7-day forecast. I'll be back at 9 o'clock for a final check of your local weather.